the United States of America. The name itself evokes a spectrum of emotions, pride, hope, but also at times concern and uncertainty. This is a nation built on ideals of freedom, opportunity, and self-governance. Yet its history is a tapestry woven with both triumphs and tribulations. From its humble beginnings as a scattering of European colonies, the USA rose to become a global superpower, a beacon of democracy, and an engine of innovation. This journey, however, was never easy. It was marked by internal conflicts, economic upheavals, and constant struggles to live up to its founding principles. This essay delves into the historical journey of the United States, exploring the pivotal moments and transformative forces that have shaped its destiny. It examines not only the nation's remarkable achievements but also the persistent challenges it faces as it navigates an uncertain future. The story of America is a testament to the human spirit's capacity for both greatness and fallibility. As we stand in 2025, understanding this complex past is more critical than ever. It allows us to grapple with present-day issues and to chart a course for a more just and equitable future. The American story is still being written, and its next chapter depends on the choices we make today. The story of the USA begins in the 17th century. European powers, primarily England, established colonies along the Atlantic coast. These colonies were diverse. They had varying economies, religions, and social structures. Life in the colonies was often harsh. Colonists faced disease, conflict with Native Americans, and demanding labor. Despite these challenges, the colonies flourished. They developed their own identities and a growing sense of independence from their European rulers. Distance and a desire for self-determination fueled tensions with England. The British government imposed taxes and regulations that the colonists found increasingly burdensome. This growing discontent sowed the seeds of revolution. By the mid-18th century, the colonies were on the brink of a momentous transformation. What began as protests against taxation evolved into a full-fledged war for independence. The colonists, once divided, united under the banner of liberty and self-governance. This period marked the birth pangs of a nation, a testament to the human desire for freedom and the courage to fight for it. The American Revolution wasn't just about breaking free from British rule, it was about establishing a new form of government, a radical experiment in democracy that would resonate far beyond the shores of the newly formed nation. In 1776, the 13 colonies took a bold step. They declared their independence from Great Britain. This declaration, penned by Thomas Jefferson, proclaimed that all men are created equal. It asserted their right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. These powerful words became the cornerstone of American identity. The Revolutionary War was a bitter struggle. The colonists were outmatched by the British Army, but what they lacked in military might, they made up for in determination. Led by General George Washington, the Continental Army secured crucial victories. They were aided by foreign powers, including France, who saw an opportunity to weaken their British rivals. After years of fighting, the Treaty of Paris in 1783 formally recognized American independence. The newly formed nation faced the daunting task of governing itself. It adopted the Articles of Confederation, but this system proved too weak to effectively unite the states. Recognizing the need for a stronger national government, leaders from the states gathered at the Constitutional Convention of 1787. This convention drafted the United States Constitution, a document that has endured for centuries as the framework for American governance. It established a system of checks and balances, divided power between the federal and state governments, and enshrined the fundamental rights of citizens. With a new government in place, the United States embarked on a period of westward expansion. The Louisiana Purchase in 1803 doubled the size of the nation. It opened up vast territories west of the Mississippi River. This expansion was fueled by a belief in manifest destiny, the idea that America had a divine right to expand its dominion across the continent. Pioneers, fueled by dreams of land and opportunity, ventured westward. They braved treacherous journeys along trails like the Oregon Trail. They faced hardships and dangers, including disease, harsh weather, and conflicts with Native American tribes who rightly saw their ancestral lands being encroached upon. Westward expansion had a profound impact on Native Americans. They were displaced from their homelands. They faced pressure to assimilate into American culture. Treaties were broken, and violence erupted as tribes resisted this encroachment on their way of life. While westward expansion brought economic growth and opportunities for some, it also exposed the dark side of American ambition. The displacement and mistreatment of Native Americans remain a stain on the nation's conscience. This period highlights the complexities of American history, where progress for some often came at the expense of others. Gap 3S. As the nation continued to grow, it became clear that the promise of freedom and equality was not extended to all its citizens. The early 19th century saw the rise of a powerful abolitionist movement, fighting to end the institution of slavery that was deeply entrenched in the southern states. Activists like Frederick Douglass, Harriet Tubman, and William Lloyd Garrison dedicated their lives to this cause, risking everything to expose the horrors of slavery and advocate for the rights of African Americans. Gap 3S. The struggle for equality was not confined to the abolitionist movement. Women, too, began to demand their rights, challenging the societal norms that restricted them to the domestic sphere. The Seneca Falls Convention of 1848 marked the beginning of the women's suffrage movement, with leaders like Elizabeth Cady Stanton and Susan B. Anthony pushing for the right to vote and greater societal participation for women. Gap 3S. These movements laid the groundwork for future civil rights battles, highlighting the persistent gap between the nation's ideals and its realities. The quest for equality and justice became a defining feature of American history, illustrating the ongoing effort to create a more inclusive and equitable society. Gap 3S. This chapter is very important. It covers crucial events and turning points that shaped the nation's history. The fight for equality and justice continues to this day, reminding us that the nation's journey is far from complete. Each generation must confront the challenges of its time, striving to fulfill the promise of freedom and equality for all. Gap 3S. This chapter delves into the pivotal moments that shaped the modern USA, including the civil rights movement, technological advancements, and the impact of globalization. Gap 3S. As the 20th century progressed, the nation faced significant upheaval and transformation. The civil rights movement of the 1950s and 1960s became a watershed moment in the struggle for equality. Leaders like Martin Luther King Jr., Rosa Parks, and Malcolm X galvanized the nation, demanding an end to segregation and systemic racism. Their courage and determination led to landmark legislation like the Civil Rights Act of 1964 and the Voting Rights Act of 1965, which sought to dismantle institutionalized discrimination and ensure equal rights for all citizens. Gap 3S. Simultaneously, the rapid pace of technological advancements began to reshape the American landscape. From the rise of the internet and the digital revolution to the exploration of space, the nation embraced innovation and progress. These developments not only transformed daily life but also positioned the USA as a global leader in technology and science. Gap 3S. The impact of globalization further influenced the nation's trajectory. As markets opened and international trade flourished, the USA navigated the complexities of a connected world. The shifting dynamics brought both opportunities and challenges, requiring adaptation and resilience. Gap 3S. Yet, through these trials, the American spirit of perseverance and ingenuity shone brightly. The nation's ability to confront and overcome adversity underscored its strength and determination to uphold the values of freedom and democracy. Gap 3S. This chapter highlights the resilience and adaptability of the nation in the face of challenges, illustrating the ongoing effort to build a more just and prosperous society. The journey of the USA is a testament to its enduring commitment to progress and equality, inspiring future generations to continue the pursuit of a better tomorrow.